Hello YouTube, how you doing tonight? Fine, I hope. My name is Alberta Bivens. Welcome to my channel, Life Guidance and Real Talk. Tonight's topic is unforgiveness. Is anybody out there dealing with unforgiveness? Anybody out there dealing with hatred and bitterness? I'm going to tell you something. I was one of you not too long ago. I'm going to tell you something that happened in my life that made me come to those points of hatred, bitterness, and unforgiveness. Almost 5 years ago now, I have a cousin named Pearlie who went to a questionable hospital in Las Vegas, Nevada, a place that has straight D's as grades for patient safety. So my question is this: if you're a hospital, you have straight D's as grades for patient safety. First of all, why are you allowed to be open? Second of all, why were you allowed to get COVID patients? So anyway, before she goes to this hospital on July 5th, she lets me know that 3 days in a row she's been dealing with a bad cough, so she wants to get some help. So she goes to the post office first and then drops me and my husband off a beautiful mug, right? July 6th, her husband joins her. They're only supposed to be there maybe about 3 days. Okay, she takes a test for her chest and they let her know that she has pneumonia. She gets the results maybe 3 hours later saying that she has COVID. But first she lets me know that she's waiting in a hallway for 20 hours on the floor on a mattress, okay? So anyway, as her husband comes every day, we're having chats, via the phone and whatnot. And so we're praying every day. She even gets on Facebook and she does a video that we don't record that says, y'all, just in case something happens to me, I sign my daughter as my POA, as I was my mother's POA. I'm like, okay, cool. But as we were talking, we could see that she's not that sick. But anyway, the doctor from another hospital, she abruptly switches my cousin from a high blood pressure medication that she's been on for years and puts on a whole nother one and gives her 3 times the amount that she normally gets, which makes her blood pressure plummet. But anyway, my cousin is still hanging on and she makes it out of the ICU, and this same doctor tells her, your numbers are going up, you need to go on a ventilator. Even though my cousin is fine, she's breathing good, talking on the phone to us and whatnot. My cousin is a very trusting person. She trusts people, okay, a little bit too much. Anyway, she goes onto the ventilator, and then this doctor proceeds to put and leave my cousin in a paralytic coma. A paralytic coma is for somebody with brain trauma or a stroke. My cousin had neither one. Her daughter objects. Nobody listens to her daughter. The doctor does not listen. The daughter is not able to make medical decisions for her mother, make that she's not allowed. She's not even allowed to switch her parents to another hospital. The dad could talk, communicate, and everything. He was forced to go on a ventilator, all right? Anyway, a do not resuscitate was forced upon my cousin against her daughter's wishes. After my cousin's life is taken, they forced her daughter to make her mother's body go to their funeral home, their own call funeral home. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Me and my family hasn't either. Anyway, the same hospital kept the husband 2.5 months, okay? A man that just went there with a cough. They only released him once I went on another social media platform and started blabbing. Then he was suddenly magically released. That's when my hatred first began, my bitterness first began, my unforgiveness first began, and my no trust in doctors and nurses first began. We're going to bring it to 2025. A very rude doctor prescribed my mother some medication that he knew was not good for her, okay? On the 4th dosage, it caused my mother to go into cardiac arrest. She goes to this particular hospital here in Wisconsin, and then the doctor ventilates my mother without my permission, okay? I'm never allowed to spend the night, all right? I'm telling them I want my mother to live. My mother wants to live. My mother's ventilated 2 more times, okay? Out of my presence in the hospital, I'm never allowed to spend the night in. All of a sudden, she cannot breathe when she's out of my presence. So I said, you know what? Since it seems like y'all pushing for mother to die, I'm going to just take my mother out. They said, if you take her out against medical advice, then we're going to charge you this, that, and the third. I said, okay, well, I'll do it through the state. So I got her into the state program where she can come home within 2 days. Tell me why I get a call at 5:01 in the morning on November 7th, and the doctor tells me that your mother's no longer here. I said, what the hell did you do to my mother? But anyway, I'm not going to go into all of that. The point is that I was never called to be by my mother's bedside. I was never told anything, and I find it a hell of a coincidence that she suddenly is gone out of my presence, and they did do not resuscitate on my mother, even though I told them to resuscitate my mother. So also hatred came from that, also unforgiveness as well as bitterness. We're going to go back a little bit. I have an Aunt Evelyn that died in 2016. She had a stroke 8 years before that. So anyway, as she's in there throughout the years, I let her husband, my uncle, know that me and my daughter would love to take care of her. He didn't give us any response. He simply kept my aunt in this nursing home. Well, when my aunt died, it was over with. Okay, I was done with him. I didn't have anything to say to him. I spoke to him at the funeral, but after that funeral was over, it was done, okay? I would see him in grocery stores. He would try to speak. I wouldn't say anything. I would see him on the streets. He would try to say hi. I would not say anything. I would see him in the library. He would try to speak, and I would not say anything. Let's bring it to the day of my mother's funeral. When I saw this man, my uncle, that I refused to speak to for so many years, I had so many tears in my eyes. I was so distraught. I said to him, Jesse, everybody is dying. He said, Alberta, that's true, but we have to move on. We have to lift ourselves up, and we have to continue to carry on. It's going to be all right, Alberta. And do you know this same man that I stopped speaking to, this same man that I hated, this same man that I never forgave, this same man that I had bitterness for, do you know this man invited me to his house with my mother's sisters, and my mother's sisters, they consulted me, they hugged me, they let me know that everything was going to be all right. Along with my uncle, he did the same thing. He said, niece, everything is going to be all right. You have to keep up. You have to keep on going on, he said. Everything is going to be all right. So I just want to say, on that day, I began my journey of forgiveness. On that day, I forgave my uncle. On that day, I began to love my uncle. On that day, I got rid of the spirit of bitterness away from my uncle, okay? I got rid of the hatred that I had for my uncle. Also, I came to the conclusion to no longer hate the people that got rid of my cousin at the hospital in Las Vegas. To also not hate the people that got rid of my mother at the hospital in the state that I live in. We have to let go of that unforgiveness, because you know why? It's a heavy burden. It is a weight. It is heavy to carry. I had to go to the Father and say, Lord God, please take this burden away from me, Lord God. Please take away the spirit of unforgiveness and bitterness and resentment and hatred. Okay, I had to continue to pray that prayer every single solitary day. I even joined the church. I let the church know what happened to my mother, what happened to my cousin. And this sister at the church told me, she said, Alberta, you have to come to the decision that is to forgive. See, you waiting for this magical feeling to come over you. And she was right. I was waiting for this magical feeling to come over me. It never did. But she told me you must make the decision to forgive. So again, on that day, I made the decision to forgive. Okay? So I'm here to give you the advice to make the decision to forgive and start on that healing journey of forgiveness. And to take any journey, we must first take the first step. Make that decision. The first step should be to make the decision to forgive. Ask the Lord to help you to forgive. And you know, I had to really listen to that song by Yolanda Adams that said, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Give it to the Lord, okay? And I'm giving you the advice to give it to the Lord, to pray about it. I know it hurts. I know some things feel unforgivable. I know you have hatred when you can have hatred when somebody hurts you. You can have bitterness, but I'm here to tell you, that is a heavy load to carry. That is a burden, and we can give our heavy loads and we can give our burdens to the Lord. I had to give my burdens to the Lord. I had to give my hatred to the Lord, my unforgiveness, my bitterness. And he has made the yoke way easier. You know, he has taken it away from me. I feel so much better. And my goal is to help somebody else out there to feel better. My goal is to let you know you don't have to hold on to unforgiveness. My goal is to let you know you don't have to hold on to bitterness. My goal is to let you know that everything is going to be all right. My goal is to let you know that God has our relatives. I hope that this helps somebody. And I also ask that while you're thinking about the things that I said in this video, that you also make truth your fingerprint. God bless you. And if you like what I say, if what I have been talking about resonates with you, I ask you like, I ask you subscribe, and I ask you comment. If you're going through a forgiveness journey, if you're holding animosity towards somebody and you want to change, I ask that you talk to God, and I ask you also leave it in the comments. Have a blessed day, and I will see you on the next video. Have a blessed one.